Hi, welcome to this video about the new moon in Libra in October. What we're going to do is take a look at your placement of where the new moon is falling in your chart, and we're going to try and tune into perhaps what this all means. So as you can see on the chart right now, I've got the moon and the sun and Mars, and all of them will be conjunct on the 6th of October for the new moon in Libra. So we'll talk about what that means. And also the other sort of very exact aspect that is being made is the three of them together will be making an inconjunct, 150 degrees, Virgo style, with Uranus. So all of those themes sort of come together. So let's put that together one by one, and then we'll talk about what's happening for you in your chart potentially. And once I've gone through this intro, you can skip ahead to the timestamps and see which house will be in for you. So whichever house 13 degrees of Libra is for you, that's where you can sort of tune in the timestamps below, so that you can skip ahead to what's important for you. But before we do that, we need to understand what these energies are first. So starting with what is a new moon. So a new moon is very much Aries energy, and it's the energy of new beginnings, feeling that sort of drive and initiative for change, feeling like going exploring, trying to discover something new, and also feeling a little bit insecure about that, but feeling this desire. And since that is conjunct Mars, which is the ruler of Aries, this feeling of a spark or a drive forward will be felt even more intensely on this new moon. And that is particularly true if you have something close to 13 degrees of Libra in your chart. And also it will be true if you have something at 13 degrees in a sextile, trine, square, opposition aspect as well. So have a look at your chart and to see how much you will feel it. But I think we'll all feel this new moon in terms of this energy to thrust out and do something different. So what might that be? So what might that be in Libra? So Libra would give us the intention of rebalancing, creating a balance in something in our life. Where that might be will be more explained when we go through each of the houses. But we're looking at rebalancing something to do with our needs, our relationships with others, our communication with others. There's something about the other, and that other might not be a person, it might be a situation, but some sort of recalibration and rebalance, and we feel a strong drive to do that now, and to take something new and implement a new seed, and we feel inspired to do that now. This is all precipitated also by the inconjunct, the 150 degree aspect with Uranus in Taurus. Now obviously Uranus in Taurus has been there for a while, and so it's been hanging around in whichever house it is in for you, bringing something to your awareness, trying to liberate you from something. But we're going to feel an extra drive for that. The inconjunct is Virgo inconjunct, meaning that we're feeling the pressure of a bit of crisis, a bit of anxiety pushing us forward on whatever this might be. So that's sort of where that's also coming from. So anything that you might be feeling is like, got to do it now. It feels really urgent. It feels like if I don't make a change now, a crisis is just on the horizon. that's how you know, like, that's the energy that's being brought to your awareness, and you can make a new choice, you can plant a new seed, you can initiate something new that can make the most of this new moon energy. Okay, so keeping all that in mind, let's take it through the houses. Now, as I move it around the chart, the moon will not stay conjunct the sun, but forget about that, because that's just the way the software is going to work, right? So what I'm going to do is just sort of move the time, so then the planets will change houses, but ultimately just know that the moon is with them the whole way if we were looking at your real chart at the time of the new moon, which you want to check where that is in wherever you're located in the world. But here in Europe, that's going to be just around lunchtime. Okay, so let's say that Libra for you is the first house. What might this urgency of a new beginning be? It's likely to have something to do with something about who you are, your identity, and what you're doing right now in your life. There's something out of balance inside yourself. Perhaps it's something about you're sick of the way that you look, or you're just sick of some of the things that you're doing in your life. They're not really you. Something you need to let go of because they don't really match who you are. So those are the sorts of things that you want to look at around this new moon. Might be a crisis around identity, around being authentic. There's something about who you are, and you want to restore something. You want to make a change around that, and you want to freshen yourself up, basically. Okay, so let's take it to the second house. So if it's in the second house, it looks something like this on your chart, looking at the transits. And what's that to do with? What is this new start? What are we trying to restore balance to? Probably meeting your own needs and making sure that your needs are in alignment with your values. Something about meeting your needs in alignment with your values is out of alignment. That might be to do with something to do with your diet, food, the way that you're making money, something going on in your job. You might just feel like, this doesn't really line up with what's important to me. And you're feeling inspired to make a change in one of those areas. It could be deeper than that, and you might be feeling a little bit of a crisis in yourself, in terms of you've had enough of the way that you feel. You've been lingering in feelings that don't feel great, maybe even a bit of depression, and you're feeling like that's over and done with. I want to move this forward. I want to make a change. I want to do something to shake myself out of my stuckness. That could definitely be the case with this occurring in the second house, where energy can feel very stuck sometimes, and this is a great opportunity to make a change there. Taking it around now to the third house. The third house could be something to do with some communications or something that you're learning, some information that you're gathering. You feel inspired to go and collect some new information, or to make a phone call, or to write something down that's been important to you, or meet with someone in your community, talk to one of your siblings. Something, third house, you feel inspired to bring back into alignment and to rebalance. So it could be, an important conversation you want to have at work. It could be an important conversation you want to have with absolutely anybody in your life. It could be you just feel like you just need to start this project that you've been thinking of, this blog, this YouTube channel, this could be anything, TikTok, some social media. You want to reach out, you have something to say, and you feel inspired to take action to say it now, and that's exactly what you should do. Okay, we take it around now to the fourth house. Here you're looking at some sort of rebalance in something to do with the home, your home, how you feel at home. Perhaps you haven't really been feeling like your home has been getting enough attention from you. Maybe something in your home isn't meeting your needs. Or maybe it's the people in your home as well. There's something out of balance there that you feel inspired to make a change. I mean, maybe you just feel like making a change of you've been wanting to beautify something, a corner in your home, or you feel like you wanted some new cushions, or it could be something small like that. You just really feel like, I really feel inspired to do this and I've been wanting to do it. Now's the time to take action on that. And that could really improve your emotional well-being. But there's something to do with making a change and sinking in with your own emotional well-being. And you're feeling inspired to take action on something that perhaps is unusual otherwise, but that's really what you want to do. Moving around now to the 5th house. Here you're feeling inspired to restore balance, to something to do with your creativity, the level of fun in your life, joy, maybe even romance. Like maybe you feel like, you know what, I'm going to get on a dating site. I'm just going to do it. I feel like doing it. Okay, that would be something, you're restoring the balance to this area of your life. Maybe you just feel that life it's just been too much work, too much of the chores of life, and you really want to do something fun. You just feel like planning something fun to do and integrating more play, restoring your need for fun and joy, restoring the balance of that back into your life. So that would be something very 5th house as well. It could be big. You might be like, you know what, I've been wanting children and this is the time to do that. I want to start a family. I want children in my life. So it could be something small. It could be a small thing like planning an excursion for the weekend, up to something, a bigger life change, like starting that creative project that you have been wanting to do and you feel like you really need to do and you need it for yourself, but you haven't been able to necessarily do that yet. Now could be the time. Okay, moving on to the 6th house. Here you might really want to create a change and restore balance to your routines. It's similar to the 5th house in terms of maybe, yes, you've been feeling like the drudgery of life, but you feel like you could have a better relationship with the routines in your life. You could have a better relationship with your work life, your health routines, just the general flow of every day and the details, and you want to make a change there. You've felt inspired by something comes into your awareness and you think, I would love to try that. I think that would make my day so much better. It could be that you've noticed, the busyness of your mind and the way that your mind is ruling your life and your thoughts are ruling your life, that you want to restore balance to that part of your life in some way, which might mean you feel inspired to journal, to start a meditation routine, something that can help you gain back the balance of your thoughts in conjunction with your feelings. So there's something that you need either just in your daily life and the way that runs, or in your mental life that is needing your attention and that you will receive some sort of inspiration around. And whatever that impulse is, you should definitely follow that. If we're talking the 7th house, then we really are talking probably about a relationship in itself. So there is something about you and another person, your needs being met or not, and you feel inspired to try something new with your partner or your business partner or a best friend. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, but you are feeling this urge to try something new and address something. It might be having a conversation. You might realize that you've not really been listening to your partner. Maybe it's on your end. Maybe it's not on their end, that they need to be doing something for you, but that you realize you need to be doing something for them, and that perhaps you haven't really been as present with them. If it's the other way around, then you'll probably feel inspired to have some sort of a conversation that can start a new cycle in the way that you engage with this person, to refresh and try something new and see if that transforms the situation in some way. Taking a look at the 8th house. So if the new moon is falling in the 8th house for you, then you're probably feeling inspired to change in a big way. Usually the 8th house is really about more significant transformation. So it could be that you feel like you want to restore the balance psychologically for yourself in some way. You might feel inspired to do a course of self-discovery, or to start some therapy, or go back to therapy, or start a different kind of therapy. Something that allows you to dig deeper into yourself. You feel inspired to do that because something is out of balance there. It could be to do with other things, such as, this is the house of financial things, sharing, merging with others, their money, their resources. You could feel that there is something out of balance in the sharing of resources in your life, and you want to address that. Perhaps you're feeling some frustration over it, but do turn that energy into something more constructive, like having a conversation, speaking what you need before sort of demanding what it is that you want. Because remember that at all times when we're in some sort of entanglement with others, which we are in entanglement with many people, that they don't actually always know what we need, and we have to communicate that. So whatever you're feeling in that way, if you are feeling like there is something that needs to be addressed, something seems unfair, something seems out of balance in some way, it doesn't have to be with finances, it could just be in a very intimate relationship that you're in. You might even feel that there is something out of balance in the shared intimacy, sexual intimacy between you and another person that you want to address. Instead of being frustrated about it, which Mars can often bring this sort of frustration, you want to bring instead an ability to be vulnerable, because the 8th house is a great place to learn to plant the seed of vulnerability and to practice that, to be vulnerable and to try and explain and communicate and be listened to about what it is you need, what you would like, and to be able to really let that go. Coming around now to the 9th house. If the new moon is occurring in your 9th house, there is something that you feel inspired to do about restoring balance, probably to some beliefs. This is at a sort of a deeper level. So some limiting beliefs that aren't serving you and you know it, a way of seeing the world, the way you're looking at the world is not the way you want to look at the world. And you know that you have to do something different to freshen that aspect. That could be, there's many ways to do that. Something will come into your awareness though. You just have to be open to it and to see, okay, I'll try this because I don't want this way of seeing the world to pervade and penetrate the everydayness of my life. I don't want these beliefs. They're not serving me in any way. It could be, however, something more down to earth in terms of you might be feeling imbalance around, like you might really be feeling the urge to travel, okay, and you might not be able to do that right now, so you want to explore, you want to expand your horizons in some way, and you might want to do that by actual traveling, which again might not be possible, so you want to find like a new way to get the same satisfaction of being able to explore something new. So it might be a more intellectual journey or a more local journey or something new to try to quench your thirst for travel. And perhaps you're feeling inspired to go back and do some study as well. Like perhaps you've been wondering about this and you just feel this inspiration that this is the time to sign up to that course that you've been wanting to do, or even a higher degree potentially. Okay, if you have this new moon in your 10th house, you might be feeling inspired to restore some sort of balance to your career or to your achievements or the way that you are appearing in public. So it could be, if it's your career, perhaps you've just been going along, going with the flow, but you feel like now implementing a change to take you in a slightly different direction, to get a promotion, to get experience more laterally, that could lead to other opportunities down the track, to try something new at work because you're sort of sick of the same routine and projects. It might even be to look for a new job. Like you might really feel inspired to branch out in your career. So you want to follow those impulses and see where they lead you. Or there might be something that you've really been wanting to achieve and you just haven't been putting the effort into it, or you feel like you haven't really experienced achievement in a long time. So this could definitely be some spark would come in that you really feel like partaking in, maybe some sort of challenge that's quite public, like if you were to succeed, you will be noticed in this achievement, like in a marathon or something like that. But something that is an achievement for you and somehow also will give you some recognition as well. So something around that is calling your attention now and something you feel like addressing and being in communication with. And moving to the 11th house. So if you have this new moon in your 11th house, something about your dreams and ideals, maybe you just feel like you haven't really been putting the effort and energy into what's really important to you, your dreams, your idealized version of what life could be, and you might feel a drive and a spark now to go ahead and get started on that. There's something, you might start a project, you might find a cause that's really important to you and you feel like, yeah, I really want to be a part of this cause now. I feel it's important. I want to put my energy into that cause, or that energy into one of your dream projects. It might be that it's more to do with a friendship group, that there's a conversation you need to have with certain people, with a group of friends, or you feel like you really just want to initiate meeting some new people. You want to have that back and forth, that sharing between you and some new people, some like-minded soul tribe people, and you feel like joining a new group, going out there and finding some new friends. So again, look out for what comes your way and follow those impulses as well. And finally, we move around to the 12th house. So if the new moon is in your 12th house, you might feel inspired to just really let something go. You might feel like really surrendering something that has been bothering you, and you feel like, okay, now it's time. I think I'm ready just to try and let this go now. And you might find the support and opportunity that comes in to sort of really help you make a move in that direction. It could be that you feel inspired to try something new on a spiritual level as well, that you feel like being more in communication with your spiritual side, and you become interested in trying a psychic reading, or to listen to a tarot reading, or to try a form of meditation, or to read a spiritual text of some kind. There's something there that there's been something missing. You want to restore balance to that, and potentially by like really experientially, perhaps through communication of some kind, being part of the conversation around whatever it is that's calling to you as well. I mean, you might feel that you kind of just want to hide away a little bit, but that's not the way that you want to go about it. You want to try and break through that, and instead really come through with trying something a little bit out of your usual comfort zone, out of your world, and seeing like what sort of enlightenment that can bring you, and how it might be able to restore how you're feeling. Okay, so hopefully you've got something out of that today, and please let me know what comes up for you around the new moon. I'll be doing more videos like this to take you through the transits, just to give you a quick tune in to the energy. The more that you know your own chart, and the more that you understand the placements in your chart, the more that understanding these transit videos can help you really tune in to what it might mean for you. So as always, what you want to do is start with a really strong knowledge of your birth chart, and I'm always available for private consultations, where we can really explore that in depth and give you a jumping off point. So the details are in the description box below. If you'd like to hear more of these new moon, full moon and other transit videos, please like and also subscribe so that you don't miss any of my new videos. I hope this has been a glorious new moon for you, and one that has been able to really, you felt the inspiration, you followed it, and you're so glad that you were able to tune in to the energies available to you. Okay, see you next time.